Tonight, Lami residents speak out against proposed development in mangrove area. Plans to cut down iconic tree met with backlash. And West officers learning about fighting money laundering. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate. Residents along Unduya Point in Lami are lobbying against proposed development on the foreshore. Pacific Building Services, a leading construction company, has plans to build an industrial subdivision in Waimbolo, Wailekutu. However, as Dev Narayan finds out, people in Lami aren't at all happy with the idea.
This is the area earmarked for development. For most of the people living in Unduya Point, it's a scenic view of the harbour right outside their window. But if proposals by Pacific Building Solutions go through, it could turn into an industrial area. Residents say they are more concerned with the environmental consequences of the development.
Concerned that there's a proposed industrial estate to be put in Granny-Bortle Bay, which is the last remaining stand of mangrove in Suva Harbour, which in 1986 was designated as a resource reserve as a mangrove. And some people want to put in a barging installation down there, in amongst residential houses, on land that is zoned as residential.
2 weeks ago, a notice appeared in the Fiji Times calling for objections to the proposed industrial area. Patrick Todd has spent his entire life in this house and fears that growth and investment are being given more importance than preserving this pristine environment.
Had to make repeated calls to the Department of Lands just to get the information, just to make the objection. This has been going on for 3 weeks now. So we just want to be able to find it, be able to make an objection and get something done about this, because I don't think it's right.
This area known as Granny-Bortle Bay, acres and acres of mangroves thriving with marine life. These residents have written to the Environment Ministry, Town and Country Planning and a host of other authorities asking for the proposed development to be disallowed.
PM's office, the Department of Environment, the Department of Land, the Lamy Town Council, anybody we could find has been contacted and has a well-documented letter that was signed by many residents around here and we have had no response whatsoever.
Managing Director Michael Fairfax says they have strong support from the government and local Golingolianis as the plan will bring employment and business opportunities to the area. He says they have complied with all requirements and the environment impact assessment has also been approved. PVS says they have a positive feedback from proposed tenants, which include resort groups seeking better access to services in Suva via the waterway. Dev Narayan, FBC News.
Residents in Suva are up in arms over plans to cut down an iconic Iwi tree in the middle of the city. The SCC's indicated some of the aging trees in the city need to go for safety reasons. But as Shireen Lanta reports, a group of ratepayers has started to campaign to save some of the trees which are over 100 years old.
This Iwi tree is over a century ago. It's withstood the elements, seen the city grow and has witnessed many historical events. If it could talk, it would have many tales to tell. But if the Suva City Council has its way, the days of this tree could be numbered.
It's quite sad because the tree has been there for a long time. It's a landmark for the people of Fiji.
SCC Special Administrator Chandu Umaria commented in the Fiji Times earlier that some age-old trees need to be cut down since we are approaching the cyclone season.
I think that they should trim the trees and manage it so that we don't lose the beauty of our city.
These Suva residents believe the trees hold a significant meaning for the city and are too important to face the axe.
I'd like the Suva City Council to pause for a bit before they go and cut down any of the trees and allow the public to come forward with their views and have a proper consultation and then carry out an environmental impact assessment based on the findings of that, and then they can go ahead.
Umaria has said that the SCC needs expert advice on which trees need to go. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
When contacted this afternoon, SCC Special Administrator Chandu Umaria stressed the trees will only be cut down after consultations with the experts. Police are questioning a suspect in relation to the death of a man in Suva. Director Criminal Investigations ASP Vakadengu Tonduandua says the suspect was allegedly involved in a scuffle in Victoria Parade on Sunday night. The victim was injured and rushed to the Colonial War Memorial Hospital, where he later died. Tonduandua says they're trying to determine whether the victim is a local or from overseas. Money laundering is a growing global concern, and Fiji is no different, with 23 cases being reported so far. The Fiji Financial Intelligence Unit is for the first time holding a workshop with police officers, hoping to bring them up to speed with the white-collar crime. Christopher Chand reports.
Money laundering is becoming prevalent in the country, involving hundreds of thousands of dollars and often going undetected.
Money laundering generally is very difficult to investigate because of the complexities involved. And it's very difficult for the police investigators to look at a fraud case and look at the money laundering side of the case.
Financial transactions are now being more closely scrutinized, with suspicions proven true in every case investigated.
As I said, there are 23 cases that have been brought to our attention that looks at specifically on proceeds of crime and money laundering, and there has been generally many more fraud cases that has been brought to the Financial Intelligence Unit attention, but these 23 cases are purely money laundering and proceeds of crime cases.
Police officers are in the front line in fighting this white-collar crime, understanding what money laundering is and how they can outsmart such criminals is the goal of this workshop.
There are also signs of new trends of money laundering emerging in Fiji. In recent years, the FIU has been reporting cases where thousands of dollars are being laundered in Fiji by locals and foreigners. Latest trends in Fiji also indicates the growing involvement of professionals who act either as agents or facilitators in assisting in the laundering of funds, thus making police investigations more complex and more difficult.
The processes when dealing with money laundering are being taught to police officers. Once back in the field, they're expected to find more successes in detecting and prosecuting those involved. Christopher Chand, FBC News.